Pakistan, the minimum wage is $5. However, there are people who earn even less. The Catholic teachers earn 60% of the minimum wage at $3 an hour. How many of you would just leave that place? The Belize Catholic Association of Principals of Secondary Schools held a conference for Catholic educators in the hopes to wake them up to what is happening throughout the world and how through love they can prevent it from happening right here in Belize. With this week's featured story, I am Loreto Pelayo. This featured story is brought to you by Brothers Habet Limited.
At Brothers Habet and Habet, we are proud to support and celebrate Women's Month. This year, the theme is embracing equity, and we believe that everyone deserves equal opportunity and access to the tools they need to make their dreams a reality. That's why, for the entire month of March, we are offering all women a special 15% discount on all products store-wide. Whether you're a professional, a DIY enthusiast, or just looking to tackle a home improvement project, we have everything you need to get the job done. So come on down to Habet and Brothers Habet and embrace equity. Let's work together to break down barriers and empower all women to build a brighter future. From all of us at Brothers Habet and Habet, Happy Women's Month.
Guadalupe Media traveled to Muffles College in Orange Walk to attend and film the event that had 3 powerful speakers that gave testimonies of challenges that are facing the world and that have trickled down to Belize.
As Pope Francis explains, we transmit to others what we are inside. It is not enough to fill one's head with knowledge. To educate is to transmit life. To be a teacher is to live a mission.
She then gives an account as a young student.
The days leading up to our independence were electric. The excitement was palpable. A people anticipating nationhood, but gripped with the fear of letting go of the familiar. Some feared the economic challenges, and others a possible invasion by our neighbor, who had laid this threat at our feet. But then came the night of September 20th, and at the stroke of midnight, the moment had arrived. Thousands gathered to experience firsthand the birth of our independent nation on September 21st, 1981. I stood mesmerized.
She then proceeds to question what binds us as Belizeans.
What binds us together as Belizeans? Our national identity. Our destiny, both individually and collectively, rests upon our identity. And the greatest teacher of all instructed us on this point. 2,000 years ago, Jesus asked his disciples, "Who do men say that I am?" The question before them on that historic day is the same question I ask of you now and here. Who do you say we are, Belize? The answer to that all-important question is enshrined so eloquently and summarized in the preamble of our Belizean Constitution. We are a people, Belize, who affirm that the nation of Belize is founded on principles which acknowledge the supremacy of God, faith in human rights and fundamental freedoms, We are a people, Belize, who affirm the position of the family in society of free men and women and free institutions. We are a people, Belize, who affirm the dignity of the human person, the equal and inalienable rights with which all members of the human family are endowed by our Creator. We are a people, Belize, who believe that the will of the people shall form the basis of government in a democratic society, in which government is freely elected and is required to enact and enforce policies to protect and safeguard the unity, freedom, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of Belize. We are a people, Belize, who recognize that men and institutions remain free only when freedom is founded upon respect for the moral and spiritual values and upon the rule of law. This, my Belizean brothers and sisters, is the vision of who we are and who we aspire to be. The magnificent words of the preamble affirm that our identity, our dignity, our social and cultural values of the people are to be protected and preserved by our elected representatives.
She continues by saying that in making that fateful choice, we have become a covenant people. We are God's people, and He is our God.
In making that fateful choice, we, Belizeans, we became a covenant people. You will be my people, Belize, and I will be your God. And what a most faithful God He has been over the past 42 years. Even as we are maturing as a nation, we can see the hand of providence protecting Belize from invasion of a hostile neighbor, from devastating hurricanes, famines, and diseases. And so it is exciting that after 42 years of independence, we are called to renew this sacred covenant among our people. The time could not be more opportune. You see, 40 is that number of biblical transition, where great transformations were experienced. Will it be so for us, Belize? Will we continue to dwell in the shelter of the Most High and find rest in the shadow of the Almighty?
Today we are called to renew the covenant. Ms. Maria stated that the number 40 in the Bible is a transitional number. Great transformations were experienced around that number. Will 40 be significant for Belize because we have continued to dwell and find rest in the shadow of the Almighty? Or because it was the beginning of our conformity with the agendas of the world?
The People's Constitution Commission, or the PCC, was this afternoon launched in Belmopan. The Commission's work is expected to be a painstaking process because it will lead to the consultation process, one which will have input from an alphabet soup of organizations representing various walks of life. This process, the first wholesale revamping of the Constitution since 1999, will culminate with a national referendum.
And now we open a new chapter in this story. For the second time since independence, Belize is once again engaging in constitutional review through the People's Constitution Commission. This body brings together members from all political parties and a wide cross-section of civil society to exercise broad powers, allowing for education, consultation with the people of Belize, whose input will determine the governance through the ultimate test of a referendum. The body includes churches, which functions as the conscience of our nation.
On that day, the government claimed that it wanted to take out colonialist laws. George Washington once said, "Guard against the impostures of pretended patriotism." Is removing colonialist laws their true intention? Or is it to make a constitution under man? If it is changed, we are not gaining more freedom, but taking it away from one group to give to another. Our freedom is tied to our individual souls, a gift from God, not from government. Doing so will not remove colonialist laws, but take us centuries back to time, to the early church, when Christians were persecuted for their faith. Thus, the formation of the PCC. With the formation of the PCC comes the need for people behind the group. Thus, Mr. Gian Param questions us, what is our destiny?
What is your destiny? Are you moving toward your destiny? Pope Paul VI noted a particular reality that is affecting all teachers, especially the ones teaching in the Catholic school. And he said this: modern man listens more willingly to witnesses than to teachers. And if he does listen to teachers, it is because those teachers, you are witnesses. Who's the modern man? Who's the modern man? The students in our classroom. They are the future. Are you just a teacher? Or are you a witness? That's the question. It is sometimes hard to think of today's teacher as witnesses, especially when so many teachers are reticent to profess anything. In this day and age, being a witness of Christ is becoming more and more countercultural. That is the reason why, as Catholic school teachers, we must, at all costs, be a witness to the gospel, be a witness. And let me tell you something. The gospel is not just a bunch of words. The gospel is a person, and that person is Jesus Christ. We must be witnesses to that person. And Jesus says then that we, as witnesses, as his disciples, we will be known by our love for one another. What are Catholic teachers witnesses of? You're a Catholic teacher. You're teaching in a Catholic school. What are you witnessing? What are you a witness of? At the end of the day, the one answer should be, I am witnessing to authentic love. And I do this by making a gift of myself in all its freedom, its totality, its faithfulness, and its fruitfulness. Because love is always fruitful. And when we witness to love, we will see the fruits of that love in our students and their lives. What do our students see when we are interacting with each other? When we're interacting with administration, when we're interacting with the support staff? What are our students seeing? You know why? Because they are watching. They are watching. And you know why they're watching? Because they need good role models, and they know it. It's just that they do not know how to get from point A to point B. What are they seeing when you're interacting in the school? What do they hear when you are speaking about colleagues, when you're speaking about administration, when you're speaking about support staff? What are your students hearing? When you're speaking about other students, what are they hearing? Do they see division, enmity? Do they see alienation? Do they see bad blood and bitterness? I pray not. Do they hear slander, cruel, harsh, hateful, malicious, nasty, spiteful words? I pray not. Our poor students, they're struggling to encounter love. And the one opportunity that we have to be able to show them what love is, I pray that we do not miss that opportunity.
The Holy Spirit is moving and there is a renewal, and we must make haste to choose. We cannot wait for the Constitution of Belize to be changed. Father Bo, the first speaker at the conference, gave us real-world examples and a solution to fight back.
The average child now is spending 8 hours a day online. 8 hours a day getting formation unsupervised. And it's shaping who they are as a person. But what is happening is one of the biggest shifts in human history is taking place. The West, Europe, North America, it has lost the Christian worldview. And the ripples that come from the death of the Christian worldview in the West changes the complexities of Catholic education everywhere in the world. It touches upon our moral code, what our worldview is. It impacts what we think is right and what we think is wrong, what we think is success and what we think failure is, what our economic values are, where we go for entertainment, what manners are acceptable or unacceptable, what our legal principles are. This all flows from our world view. And when a society's worldview is under attack, chaos follows. Sometimes it's a bloody chaos. Sometimes it's just a chaos of competing value systems. So the value systems of the children and the value systems of the grandparents are extremely different right now. Because the children and the grandparents do not have the same worldview. When worldviews are competing and clashing, and chaos follows, then what happens is the old worldview either gets fortified and we return to peace, or a new worldview replaces it and something of peace follows. There is a clashing of worldviews happening.
He continued by saying that recently he had an opportunity to go to Rome and to talk to others and see what's happening in other Catholic schools in the world, and it did not look good. In Pakistan, the minimum wage is $5, however, people earn even less. The Catholic teachers earn 60% of that at around $3 an hour.
In Pakistan, it's about $5, like our minimum wage. But there's one group of people that can earn less than the minimum. Do you know what that group is? Catholic school teachers. There's the minimum wage, $5, but Catholic school teachers earn 60% of the minimum wage, meaning $3 an hour if you're a Catholic school teacher. How many of you say, hasta bye-bye, $3 an hour, I'm done? Well, wait till you hear this. There are these things called blasphemy laws. And a Muslim student can accuse a Catholic school teacher of breaking a blasphemy law. And the consequence of breaking a blasphemy law is death. And there's no trial. You have no opportunity to defend yourself. Every student has the power, as though there's an invisible gun to every teacher's head, every student has the power to kill their teacher. $3 an hour. There's no organization in the world that educates as many marginalized children as does the Catholic Church. And there's no organization in the world as successful at helping young people on the margins to find proficiency academically. And the Catholic Church is desperately trying in Burkina Faso, despite extremely difficult circumstances.
It has been easy for Belizeans in the past because we have had the faith of the West to shield us. The West is the foundation of our civilization. The thousands of missionaries, such as the Palatine Sisters, the Mercy Sisters, the Jesuits, they all left their lives and everything behind. Family, friends, comfort, to spread the word of God. The Catholic Church, for example, built schools in every district.
On the Belizean flag, we have the Latin lema, the Latin motto. Under the shade, we flourish, I flourish, Florem. We have been under the shade of the protection of the Christian West. And so it's been easy for us to be strong because we've been supported from outside. The Palatine Sisters, the Mercy Sisters, Daughters of Charity, hundreds of them, Jesuits. You look at the ranks of them, thousands of missionaries who loved the children of Belize that they had never even seen so much that they would be willing to leave one standard of life and go to a place with much greater poverty and much greater discomfort and leave behind their food and their family and their friends and their culture just for the chance to help people get to know God and to try to improve their life in this world and for the life to come. And the Catholic Church, at the Catholic Church's own expense, built a Catholic school in every town and almost every village in Belize out of love, out of sacrifice, because they had a Christian worldview. Where are those sisters now? If I were giving this talk 2 generations ago, all of you would be wearing veils. You are those sisters now. And where is your worldview? It's been slowly put to sleep by me. And we haven't been awake to recognize that it's damaging our soul. So there's a speaker that I really admired. His name is Marcus Cole. He's African American, and he's built like an NFL linebacker, and he's got hair weaves that go way down, and he's the dean of Notre Dame Law School. And he said, "It was white women that taught me that my Black life matters. White women, Roman Catholic nuns, moved into my neighborhood. And because they stood with my people, they came to love my people. And love is the foundation of Catholic education, and love is the foundation of religious liberty. If you want young people to know that their life matters, enroll them in Catholic schools." What we need to wake up is love. Because it is love of the children that's going to impel us to rescue them from this darkness. There are classrooms that I've been in where more than 50% of young people are cutting themselves. Why are half of our young people attacking their own body with blades? Why? It's because they don't know who they are anymore. They've lost their identity. Our identity comes historically from two things, from our faith and our family. And if you destroy the faith and you destroy the family, there's an emptiness inside that only a blade can fill for a little while. You and I have a chance, a bold and beautiful chance, to wake up and reclaim our Christian identity, and then share it with young people. And if we do, they will live. Can we serve with one heart and with one mind as authentic Christian and Catholic school teachers and leaders? And sometimes the most powerful evangelizer in a school is the gardener. Whoever you are, you have a role to play. But before you can play that role, you have to wake up. Christianity will be okay. Christianity can be the dominant force, or Christianity can be hidden in the underground. God will send His Holy Spirit, and He will reach out to save. But it would be a real shame if we lost all that is good and holy and beautiful and true, so much that our forefathers in faith have sacrificed and died for, because we just don't really care very much anymore. Don't be seduced by pizza. Don't sell your soul for the delights and pleasures of Netflix. Because we're high on the digital drug, we're not actually awake to the deep spiritual needs of our children. They're dying. But with our help, they do not have to.
We need to make the decision. We can have a world formed by Christian values, or one formed by the screen. We can fortify our Christian values or replace them. The greatest risk, is from the asleep Catholics, those who are lukewarm because they don't stand for anything anymore. However daunting the task may seem, Father Bo affirms that these risks of a changing worldview are good. The risk forces us to wake up.
Does your school give children a reason to believe? Does your school project a faith worth dying for? Do 10% of us care? We're positively disposed to Christ and the church. We try to be good people, but do we care enough to actually live it? My guess would be 1 in 10. I don't want to shame anyone. But my guess would be 1 in 10 actually care enough to go. Because we're asleep. And when I heard Colonel Pell, I thought, this isn't a coming nightmare. This is Belize now. The nightmare's here. Students. The 2/3 or more of students are actively pagan. I don't mind shaming Mount Carmel High School because that's my school. And we need it. We need to be called out. I asked students at a school mass last semester, if you went to mass or a church service this weekend, stand up. Out of 570 students, there were 30 standing. 30? We don't have a Catholic school. We have a very good pagan school. Because if you don't actually live your faith, you don't actually have a faith. Our kids are curious and they're warmly inclined towards Christianity. They think positive thoughts about Christianity, but they are not Christian. Christianity is a faith to be lived. Mount Carmel High School is a very good pagan school. Cardinal Pell words about it, time where 2/3 of students are pagan. At Mount Carmel High School, 95% of students are pagan. How is your school? It's probably following the example of its leaders.
Don't sell your soul to the world. We need to wake up. Father Bo states that what we need to wake up is love. The three speakers agree that love is a step in the right direction towards a solution. We can be the change for the rest of the world who persecutes Christians and passes laws against God. If we work now and as a church, we will get things done. We need to love. Until then, we will wake up. And we must wake our faith up. Unless we do that, these things will keep happening until they are irreversible. Ending as Mr. Gian did, we must fall in love and stay in love.
Beloved teachers, love always and love in all ways.
This has been a Guadalupe Media production.
For this and more feature stories, you can follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or view on Guadalupe Media Channel 96 on CCV. You can also tune in on the radio in your car, home, or office at 101.9 FM, and please be sure to download the Guadalupe Media radio app from Google Play or the App Store. Our Blessed Mother, lead us to Jesus.